Thank you very much for honoring us with your presence. The MEC for Education has arrived, accompanied by the DG, Baba Mtagane, and the members of the executive management of the Mpumalanga Department of Education. And I'm going to request that the Honorable MEC takes the platform and address us.
Greetings to the DG, the DDG for curriculum, members of the executive management, representatives from various media houses. I will start with a statement from the Executive Council of the Mpumalanga province. I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to you for honoring our invitations. We thought it would be prudent for us to gather in this fashion to share with you both the plan by the Department of Education as well as the Mpumalanga Executive Council statement. The Executive Council held its ordinary sitting yesterday, Wednesday, 18 May 2016 in Garisbande District Municipality, following its resolution that all its meetings will now be combined with outreach programs in an effort to monitor and assess progress made on projects. The meeting took place in Emelo and was subsequently followed by a visit to the Nooitgedacht Agricultural Research Center and a war room in Ward 16, established as part of implementing the provincial government's delivery model called Operation Vuka Sisebende. The visit to the research center was prompted by the concerns raised by the Mpumalanga Premier, Mr. David Mabuza, about the deterioration of this research infrastructure, research outputs, and loss of glory for the province. During the visit, the Honourable Premier committed to have the research center revamped and pledged the resources to ensure that it is fully recapitalized to be a center of excellence. The Executive Council was briefed on the activities of the war room as well as issues raised by communities. A report has been prepared in order for government to respond to issues raised by communities in this regard. The war room stakeholders were encouraged to constantly interact with communities to ensure that they respond to their issues. The Executive Council expressed a need to come up with mitigating factors to address the identified challenges. The Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs was tasked to come close to the matter and ensure a close monitoring of this program to ensure maximum impact. The Executive Council received a progress report on the proposed development of Nkosi City in Katanshi in Bombela Municipality. The provincial government will work with the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform to ensure that all land issues in the development area are resolved. Both COGTA and Agriculture, Rural Development and Land Administration and Environmental Affairs were tasked to work together with the Minister of Rural Development and Land Reform in resolving all the outstanding issues. A new leadership for the Community Property Association should be elected in order to avert further tensions. The Executive Council approved the publication of Mpumalanga Ingoma Regulation 2015 by the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. The regulations are a sub-legislation and are general information for compliance regarding the initiation, as traditional leaders have argued that the period of the initiation school cannot be regulated on account of customary practices that dictates that certain conditions must prevail before the initiation school can be halted. The approved regulation seeks to regulate, among others, the approval for holding Ingoma by traditional leaders to the Mpumalanga Provincial House of traditional leaders and the MEC for COCTA. They further direct the traditional leader and Ingoma holder concerned to inform the community through imbizo and community meetings of the information about the Ingoma. People wishing to attend the Ingoma should be documented before they are admitted, and traditional surgeon should also be registered. The regulation permits the MEC to establish a team of technical experts to assist the designated person in monitoring compliance with the Ingoma Act and the regulations. The Executive Council tasks the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs to guard against appointing people outside the employ of government to run initiation, but should limit the establishment of the team to government employees and the House of Traditional Leaders. The Executive Council approved the action plan to build a mental health services facility in the province. Mpumalanga is the only province without a psychiatric hospital, and as a result, it is not well equipped in terms of infrastructure and human resources to render comprehensive mental health and substance abuse services. According to the norms for planning for psychiatric beds, the province needs to have 1,120 acute beds. Currently, there are only 106 acute beds in the hospitals, and 1,014 are still required. The Executive Council learned that difficult mental health care users that needed further management from designated facilities were often referred to Vescopis Hospital in Gauteng, and in case of children, they are referred to Sterkfontein, also in Gauteng. The Executive Council instructed that the psychiatric hospital be built around Emakazeni municipality. The Executive Council has resolved that all new hospital development plans by the Department of Health should be benchmarked with the newly built General Hospital in Cuado Cubango province in Angola. The hospital in Cuado Cubango, Angola is built in a cost-effective fashion and has all the necessities such as the ability to generate its own electricity, has its own water treatment system, has a mechanism to produce its own oxygen, and have it stored in the hospital. The Executive Council instructed that pricing of the construction of new hospitals should encompass everything that will make the hospital functional, such as beds, theater equipment, x-rays, scanners, furniture, as opposed to only focusing on infrastructure. Such first hospital will be built in Middelburg, and the Executive Council approved that the old Middelburg Hospital be utilized as a step-down facility to cater for patients that are gravely ill who cannot be discharged to go home. The Executive Council approved that the provincial celebration for Africa Day be held in Bushbuckridge Municipality on Wednesday, 25 May 2016, with representatives from the neighboring countries invited to take part to ensure that the event depicts the true picture of being an African ceremony. The event should showcase the province's cultural identities. Thank you.